One of the common concerns that most first time mothers have and probably would have asked their pediatrician at least once would be, is my baby getting enough milk? So, why is this such a common concern? As a mother, you're obviously concerned if your baby is getting sufficient nutrition or not. So, yes, your concern is valid. The breastfeeding experience of different mothers vary from one another. Not only does the quantity of milk appear to be different, but also the frequency and duration that babies feed is different. Some babies latch on perfectly on the breast as if they were trained, while others take their time to learn it. Furthermore, some babies demand frequent feeding, which gives the impression that they are not getting enough milk, while some do not wake up every 3 hours as one would expect, making mothers wonder if their baby is getting tired. Wouldn't it be so much easier and better if your baby could just tell you? Well, don't worry. I will help you understand the different ways in which you can ascertain if your baby is getting enough milk or not. Before I talk any further on this, I want you to erase the "am I producing enough milk" doubt from your mind. Yes, you probably are producing enough. And even if you don't in the beginning, you will definitely do so once your baby starts to feed more often. It's simple demand and supply economics at play here. The more you feed, the more milk your breast will produce. However, since you cannot measure the milk intake of your baby, mothers need to keep a close watch on certain clues that indicate that the baby is getting enough milk. So, what are these clues? Start with monitoring your baby's weight closely. As long as the baby gains weight steadily, is generally a good indicator that the baby is getting enough milk. Remember, it's common for babies to lose about 5 to 10% of their birth weight in the first week after birth. So don't get alarmed if that happens. They tend to regain this weight after the first week. In the first 6 months, the baby's weight should increase by at least 400 to 500 grams each month. Steady weight gain is an important measure of sufficient milk intake. Next, keep account of the number of times the baby passes urine in a day. You can keep account of the nappies your baby uses. This is a useful quick check to understand whether the baby is getting enough milk. An exclusively breastfed baby getting enough breast milk usually passes urine more than 6 times in 24 hours. Now, if you are using diapers, the number of diapers may be slightly less as they hold more urine. But a count of the wet diapers will give a good idea about the milk intake. If you are still worried about your milk supply and urine count, I would advise you to use cloth nappies instead of diapers till this time. Finally, keep a track of the breastfeeding frequency. In the first month, babies need to be fed every 2 to 3 hours, making it a total of 10 to 12 feeds per day. In the second month, the total number of feed per day typically comes down to 8 to 9 feeds, and in the third month, it may drop down further to 7 to 8 feeds. One of the main reasons that gets the mother concerned is when the baby feeds more than what he or she usually does. This makes a mother to wonder if her baby isn't getting enough milk with each feed. This is not always the case. A baby feeding more than what he or she usually doesn't necessarily mean that the baby is hungry. A lot of times, babies feed to seek security and comfort. It could also relate to your technique of breastfeeding. So, it is advisable to recheck the position and attachment. It is said that a mother and the baby are a nursing couple. It is between two of you to naturally decide the frequency and duration of a breastfeed. So, it is advisable to use frequency of breastfeeding along with all the other pointers that I mentioned as an indicator to determine whether your baby is getting enough milk. I would also like to address some of the typical misconceptions mothers have around this topic. Many mothers are worried about the baby stools. However, there is no correlation between your baby stools frequency and breast milk supply. So, do not worry about the stooling pattern in your baby. Another important thing mothers worry about is sleep, cry, and whether their baby is satisfied or not. These are not accurate signs and do not indicate insufficient milk. To conclude, the key takeaway message that I would like to leave you with is, first and foremost, stay confident and do not continuously worry about whether your breast milk is sufficient or not. Certain important clues to help you understand whether your milk is sufficient or not include steady weight gain in the first 6 months. The baby's weight should increase by at least 400 to 500 grams each month. Frequency of urine. A baby should pass urine more than 6 times in 24 hours. You can keep a check on the number of nappies. These two are the most reliable signs of adequacy of breast milk. When it comes to nursing, there are no set rules. So do not worry too much if your baby does not follow all the rules. Breastfeeding is more than just about feeding. It is also about creating a special bond with your baby. As I mentioned earlier, you too are a nursing couple. Happy motherhood.